Hello, everyone. We are at top of the hour for our power hour. We are actually halfway through the year now. Can you believe it? And we've been able to bring you such exciting power hours and very, very good information. And today it's no different. We have our strategic partner, Chase, who presenting to us a presentation that we are in great anticipation for. But before we begin that presentation, let's see if we have a few words from our Madam President, Ria. I know we have some announcements coming up.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Parisha, and welcome to Cornell and Darius. We are so excited to have you. First of all, before I say anything about announcements, I just want to thank Darius. We had a very successful wealth series with Chase in Solano County. I think that was like the test case, right, for taking this show on the road throughout California, right? So it was an excellent series. I'm sure we'll hear more about it from Darius, but thank you guys so much for getting that going within the state of California for CAREB and all of our local boards. And I want to welcome you all to, again, another Power Hour. Thank you, Parisha, for keeping this thing going and on track. I mean, we are rolling, all brakes. I mean, all gas, no brakes. I can't even brake. But I would say that be on alert for our June summit. So we are having a summit virtually, and that virtual summit is basically talking about the gig economy within real estate, right? So there's a lot of things we do in sales with residential and commercial sales, but there's a lot of other things that we have in our back pockets to basically keep our income rolling. And so members are free to attend this virtual summit. For non-members, there is a cover charge for the virtual event. So look forward to that. Also look forward to our national conference. Our national conference this year is in New Orleans, Louisiana. And it is, if you go to NARAB.com, you will see the preliminary agenda. There are so many things going on. I'm excited. It looks like I'm there from Monday to Monday. It's so much going on in New Orleans that week. And then mark your calendars, on late October will be our California State Conference, which Parisha is our education chair for and conference chair this year. So I'm really excited on the things that we're working on. It's going to be, let me tell you this, the state conference is going to be very interactive, you guys. The state conference, we're really focusing on not only learning, but actually building our business together, right? And so there are going to be a lot of interactive workshops within the state conference that really test your skills and knowledge. So get excited. Thank you, Prisha.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam President. And so, that being said, I want to turn it over to our strategic partners. We are very, very thankful for you. And I'm not sure if Cornelius or Darius was going to go first, but go ahead and take it away.
Thank you. This
All
is
right.
Darius Toss. I'll go first. I am a community home lending manager, so I cover Northern California, while Cornell covers Southern California. Thank you, Madam President. I'm excited to bring the Community Wealth Summit next to your home chapter, ARPB in Oakland, and we'll continue to roll this out through partnership throughout the state. To bring education to consumers in the communities we're trying to serve. I'm going to get started in the deck that you see that Cornell is sharing. This is our realtor booklet, and it talks about products, programs, resources that Chase brings to the table to help you grow your business. So how we're presenting it we'll present it from that perspective. How can we help you grow your business as a strategic partner? So the first page is on our Agent Express program. So many agents have some sort of lead gen system that they pay into. Agent Express is a system that costs you nothing up front, but it gets you leads for customers that most of which have already been pre-approved and or underwritten. And if they haven't been, you'll get a notification when you receive the notification of the referral. The benefit to you is it costs you nothing to receive the client, and that you will know when you receive the notification if the client has been approved prior already, or if they're just shopping. The benefit to the client is that they get up to $5,000 as a closing credit to help cover some of the cost of moving into their home. The cost to you as an agent is 25% commission. And we say that, but like you didn't have a customer before and now you have a funded loan. So 25% commission, and that commission goes to pay that up to $5,000 that the client is getting, and to help contribute to the overhead costs of keeping the program running. When you think about the ability to grow your business, we all need additional clients coming through the door. And here's an opportunity to partner with us, become a partner agent that our clients can choose from, and you can get some more deals closed. So talk to a local home lending advisor with Chase to get more information. There are parameters around who can qualify to become an Agent Express agent. So the local home lending advisor can get you the details that you need, or you can go to chaseagentexpress.com/agents to learn more about the program. Next slide. The next thing to talk about is the mortgage options that Chase offers. So just like any other lender out there, Chase offers FHA, VA, Fannie, Freddie, conventional, 3% down. But one of the things that, in addition to that, is Chase also has a homebuyer grant. Now it says here $2,500 or $5,000, but it's actually $2,500 or $5,000 slash 25. I mean, sorry, slash $7,500, depending on the market. Now the property is what qualifies, not the client. So if you have a listing, again, a way to grow your business. If you have a listing, checking in with a home lending advisor from Chase to find out if your property is eligible for a grant, that home lending advisor can put a yard sign out there. You can put some additional verbiage in your MLS listing to drive traffic. Now, of course, we would love to do that customer. And if someone drives past and scans the QR code and lets us know that they got our information from the yard sign, we're going to refer that client back to you as the listing agent. But even if that client doesn't go with us for their loan, you got more eyes on your property by us letting us help you market the property. As a listing agent, the other benefit is you can start to negotiate with buyers who come in that may be asking for closing costs and say, well, I know that this property is eligible for $2,500 or $5,000 or $7,500 from Chase, versus asking us to give you money. How about you apply for it through them for the loan, and you'll get money, so you won't need to tap into the seller's pockets. So again, another way of making use of Chase tools to help you grow your business. Cornell, do you want to go to the next slide? Now, in addition to the conventional and government products that we offer, Chase also offers jumbo products, and we have one of the most competitive jumbo product offerings on the market. But the other thing is, I don't know if you all are aware, but 1 in 4 consumers has a bank account with Chase. Now, we can give them a discount off of their interest rate based off of how the assets that they have with us. So if nothing else, the ask that we have of all agents that we run into is give us a chance with the clients that you have that bank with us, because we almost always will be able to get them the best rate because of their relationship with Chase and all of the other things that we're talking about here, that makes us more competitive. The lower the fees, the more people that we can get into homes, because as you all know, the greatest gap to home ownership is cash to close. And if we can reduce the amount of cash they have to come in with, then we can get more people into homes. Next slide, Cornell. Now, Chase also has an asset advantage program. For most people, what that is compared to is a bank statement program. So if you have a client that maybe doesn't have a lot of income on paper, but they have a bunch of assets, it's our ability to be able to dissipate those assets over the life of the loan. is what this program here is talking about. So if you have a client that is, we're solely going to dissipate their assets, it's a part of our asset advantage program, which is the bank staking programs. And these are the requirements in order to get qualified. However, we also have the ability that many other lenders don't, to be able to mix, where if a client, say they have Social Security, retirement income, but they also have a bunch of assets, and we can dissipate the assets as well as use some of the other income to help a client qualify. And that is unique. Not all lenders have that ability. So it's a great opportunity to talk to a home lending advisor about your unique clients, to see if we have a way to support them in becoming homeowners. And then with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Cornell. He will go through the next few slides, because we have lots of things that can help you grow your business that you can make use of with your clients, and whether you're a listing agent or a buying agent, to help you grow your business. So Cornell, over to you.
Outstanding, Darius. And you covered some things that's so unique. I took notes on them myself, buddy. So good job. I like that bank statement program versus asset dissipation. I've never used it that way, but how many times have we all heard, do you have a bank statement program? Just in following up on a couple of the other things that that Darius insightfully let us know, 81 million customers. That's how many Chase has. So 1 in 4, 1 in 3.5, somewhere around there. But a whole bunch of your customers are also Chase customers. And if they've got a current relationship with us, especially if they're willing to enhance that relationship, there's an awful lot of things that we can do for them. On the Lock and Shop, that's one of them. Lock and Shop is a hugely unique program, because most of the time when you're out taking a customer to look at a piece of property and they've got a pre-approval, if it's an interest rate increasing environment, which oftentimes it is, that pre-approval can be pretty dangerous. Chase offers something called Lock and Shop, which allows a customer, unlike any other lender that I know, to lock in the interest rate before they find a house. So what that means is, especially in an interest rate increasing environment, you are safe to look at an interest rate from Chase, because that interest rate can be locked in. And we'll lock it in for 90 days, and that gives the customer 60 days to find a house. And you are great realtors, you can certainly find a customer a house within 60 days, and then they still have an additional 30 days to shop for or to close that actual loan. So Lock and Shop is excellent, 90-day lock with 60 days to find a house and a 30-day processing. And with Chase's on-time closing guarantee on purchases, it's 21-day on-time close. And I think we covered that a little bit later in this program, and I can tell you a little bit more detail on it. But remember Lock and Shop. If you ask your other lenders if they offer it, the answer is going to be no. All things in one place. We have huge tools under the name of Chase My Home. And if you don't have that on your own phone, you really should do it because it offers awesome tools. Our banks are directed if the customer is not ready to buy when they come into one of our bank branches, and they say, hey, we're thinking about buying a home, and we understand you offer mortgage loans, but we're not quite ready yet. Maybe, we got to get Sally into college first, or we got to get, Bob married off, or whatever it might be. So we're 12 months down the road before we're ready to buy. Chase My Home allows a customer to access all of the different kinds of tools that can help them get ready to actually own. So they can use that to access their credit scores. They can use that to find out what variable interest rates are in the market. And it's just an excellent tool for us to keep clients, and for you also to keep your clients that aren't quite ready sort of in your mix and in your realm. Next up is the guaranteed on-time closing. You'll notice that guaranteed on-time closing, it says at the top $5,000. That was yesterday. We started this guarantee on-time closing a few years back, and it was $1,000. If we couldn't close your loan on time, we'd pay your client $1,000. What happened? Well, we weren't paying the $1,000 because we were closing on time, and that's a fact. So we increased it to $2,500, and then $5,000. We still weren't paying it. Year to date, we've paid one for, I think it was $5,000. We increased it effective, I think it was last month, to $20,000. So now, if we can't get your deal closed on time, we will pay your client $20,000. Now, clearly, that's got to be a fault of Chase. We can't have a customer who we've asked for bank statements, 16 times and they haven't brought them in because they're trying to play on that $20,000. That won't happen. But if it's our delay, something that we've created, we will pay your client at closing $20,000. Now, what is the time frame? It's 21 days for an agency loan, and it's 30 days for a government loan. It's also 30 days for a what's called a co-op, and I think in the New York spectrum, it's 60 days for that. But your chances of running into a New York co-op are limited. So just remember 21 days or 30 days for Govy. All right.
Hey, Cornell, can I chime in on that guarantee? One of the
Absolutely.
things that I tell agents often, if your client is going with Chase and you know that if we can't close, they have the closing guarantee. If you want to make your offer better, why not put in a per diem? So say we don't close in 21 days, we close in 23 days, and you put a per diem for $150 a day or $200 a day. Is your client going to be upset about having to drop $200 when they know they have a $20,000 check coming? So this is a way to help get your offer accepted as well, because one of the things that Cornell is going to speak into as well is we also push all of our loan officers or home lending advisors to submit their loans to underwriting, every single pre-approval to go through underwriting, so that you have a commitment letter, which would help the loan close faster. And then you tag this on the back end, sell your client with the tools that we have to get your offer accepted.
Excellent. Excellent. And another insightful use of that program. Darius, you're a monster out there, buddy. All right. Next up is talking about an experienced team dedicated to new construction and new buyers. I was talking to we have a dedicated team of what we call condo builder gentlemen, and they focus completely on condominiums, getting them approved where they're not, and on new builds. So we're working with larger builders and smaller builders as well. And I reached out to them to say, hey, sort of what's going on in the builder world, since it's a little bit different. And they said something that I guess I shouldn't have been surprised about, but I was, and that's that 30% of all new inventory is going to be new build. Think about that for a second. For those of you that are not involved in the new build space, you might want to be thinking about different projects that you see around the neighborhood and approaching them about it. And if it happens to be in an area where we offer grants, that's one more advantage to that builder, because in areas where we offer grants, keep in mind that our grants are property sensitive, not buyer sensitive. So that buyer can be making $100,000 a day, which is well above the AMI that you're probably used to hearing, and it doesn't matter, because what drives Chase's grants is completely the property. So if you're looking around for a new build, and you can certainly determine which areas are property eligible, either by looking it up yourself, or better still, give an HLA a call and say, hey, I found a piece of new construction over here. Can you check and see if it's eligible for Chase's grant, which can be up to, as Darius said earlier, $7,500. So we do have regional builder managers. The two down here are AJ and Richard, and they are outstanding. They cover a lot of different things, not just build and condos, but they're very, very good at helping us understand what the market is going on down here now. Most builders, as all of you know, offer incentives. And what's neat about builder incentives is that you can use those to help buy the interest rate down. But if they are in a grant project or a grant area, their builder incentive stacks to Chase's grant. So let's say their builder incentive is $20,000. If they're in a Chase grant eligible area, now that's $27,500. That's a heck of a reason for you to approach builders to get them involved. And oftentimes, you'll be taking them new information. They won't be aware, oftentimes, of Chase's additional grant money. And in some cases, they may take some of theirs off the table because Chase offers such a lucrative one. Rate cap options. There are rate caps. We can do loans locks up to 360 days. So if the construction is just 2x4s, but they're going to be ready in 6 months, 9 months, you can do a rate lock for that uh, property, and that rate lock can also have a rate caption. There is an upfront fee for that. The extended rate lock up to 360 days is a half point. It's paid up front. And the rate cap option is a full point, also paid up front, but comes with a buy down option within 60 days of closing. New appraisal construction support, extended term rate locks. We talked about that. Portfolio lender benefits. Typically that means jumbo, but we have the ability to portfolio where many other lenders do not. Parisha, I see your hands up and your smiles up.
Yes, I do have yes, no, I do have a question. I didn't know if you're going to save questions for the end or I can interject at any time. I just was going over the protocol because I didn't want to mess up your flow.
You're welcome to answer the question now. To answer the
Okay, so
question
let's
now.
go back to Agent Express because we seem
Sure.
like we skirted over that a little bit. So how do you sign up for Agent Express? I don't know. Maybe I was looking away and I was not sure, but it seemed like we went through that quite quickly and we could need to slow down a little bit on that one. Only thing I remember was there was 25% to somebody, and that part wasn't clear either. So if you can just
So I'll
slowly
restate.
go over the
Yeah.
go over the benefits and
The
how we get started on that again, that'd be greatly appreciated.
Sure.
So either you have to contact one of our home lending advisors, myself or Cornell, to get you signed up, or the link that's on this page, you can go there to get more information. I would much rather you speak to a home lending advisor in case there's questions. Once you do that, there's you go to the website, there's you apply, and you have to meet certain criteria. So you have to have been in the business of real estate for the last 2 years. You must have at least 10 transactions. That could be list side, buy side, and rentals under your license number each year. The reason behind that is we want people who are in the program that actually are doing real estate as a full-time job and that are good at it. You can stay in the program by meeting a certain customer service satisfaction score. There's certain requirements around timeliness and being responsive, and the notes that you add into the system to let everyone know what's going on. So you sign up. Once you, if you qualify, you get in. That's how you stay on. And they go through every quarter, and they rate agents from 1 to 4. If you are at a 4, you're going to be removed, and that makes sure that there's always space for new people to join. And we want to keep the best of the best, because what happens is, as we also sign clients up for Agent Express, they get to go into a website and then they can pick an agent who they want to work with. Now, an example would be, you have a client that is being approved for a loan by a loan officer in, say, Charlotte. They're moving cross country. They don't have an agent, but they want to buy a house in, say, LA. They can find an agent through Agent Express, and use that agent. They're going to get, the benefit to the client is they're going to get up to $5,000 post closing, and they know that they're working with an agent that knows what they're doing, and has a relationship with Chase. The benefit to you as an agent for signing up with a Chase loan officer or home lending advisor is that each home lending advisor can keep up to 5 favorites on their site. So if I am, as an HLA, I pre-approve a client, I sign the client up for Agent Express, that client is only going to get exposure to the 5 agents that I have in my favorites. So now you have a better chance of capture. If the client doesn't go through me as an HLA, they get access to the 130 agents in LA that are signed up. So there's benefits to working with a home lending advisor versus going out on your own and getting signed up. I hope I answered your question. Oh, the 25%. So you don't pay as an agent, you don't pay anything up front. You as long as you get a text or an email, your choice, however you sign up, that and then you have 10 minutes to accept the lead, and then you have, I believe it's an hour to contact the client. As long as you do those two things, that lead goes to no one else but you. If you don't do one of those two things, that lead goes back in the pool and it's going to go to someone else until we get a person that picks up. Your 25% that you pay once the loan closes, you'll get an invoice, you pay it. That is where the money that goes to the client for up to $5,000 of the post-closing check. And in some instances, your 25% may not even cover the $5,000 or the it's $1,000, $2,500, or $5,000 depending on the sales price of the home. But in the instances when you're paying more than what the client is getting, that extra money goes in to cover the overhead to keep the program up and running. I hope I answered all of your questions about that.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're
That was a
welcome.
good question as
Back to
well,
you.
Parisha, because it's a program that's of interest to so many people, so many real estate agents. But as Darius mentioned, there are some significant criteria. You have to have sold a home at least 10 sides in each of the past 2 years, and then you have a customer service measurement as well. So
And the
good,
thing about
good
it is,
question, good
how
response.
many most agents are paying hundreds of dollars a month to some lead generation system with no guarantee. This way, you're not paying anything up front, but you got a client that's already approved. All you have to do is get them in a contract. You get them in a contract, then you have a guaranteed paycheck versus paying out hundreds of dollars, sometimes some people thousands of dollars with no guarantees on the back end. And that's the thing that I love about the program.
Yeah, and it's also a pretty standard referral fee that agents are pretty used to. Any other questions on that, Parisha? Or anyone else? All right, let's see if we can pick up where we left off.
Sorry, Cornell, this is Rhea Cotton. I have a
Yeah,
question, but
Rhea.
regarding the developer program. Are there particular agents within Chase that are versed on the developer program? Or would that be any loan advisor?
No, well, any loan advisor, but they're supported by what we call the condo builder manager. And I have two down here in Southern California. Darius, how many do you have up in North?
There's one in
Condo.
Northern California. There's one or two in virtually every market. And then the other thing with that is all of our builder loans go to a dedicated, each of our fulfillment sites has a dedicated underwriting team that handles builder stuff. So you're only working with people who know what they're doing.
And the
And
builder
then
space.
the home lending advisor, even if they don't, they're not the greatest. So every loan officer at any company, not every loan officer is phenomenal. But even if they're not the greatest, you have the home condo builder manager that is watching the pipeline for builder loans, and they're keeping in touch with our operations team, processing underwriting to keep the file moving.
Thank you.
So it's a safety net behind whether we think our people are phenomenal or not. We got a safety net behind them to make sure the loans get closed.
Great.
And in all markets, I'm sure it's the same. There are folks who have been around a while, have held lending manager jobs in certain capacities, and have been promoted up to the condo builder space. So we see that as a superior space for you as realtors to work in.
The other thing on this, before we go to the marketing piece, average time to build out a home nationwide is just over 10 months. Most builders and other lenders are capped at a 6-month rate lock. In a rising rate environment, when you're having to wait 10 months to be able to lock the security of locking your rate in for up to a year, where you can float the rate down to current pricing if rates drop, is a huge security blanket, especially for the buyer and the client, because if rates go up, maybe that client can't even afford this house anymore.
In most cases, that's probably going to be true because people will tend to buy at the high end of what they can afford. Good point. You know, the other advantage, I think Darius started this out as saying, how can we, Chase, help you get more transactions? And we've covered a number of areas where we can, including Chase Agent Express, which is hugely popular. But another way is what we call co-branded marketing materials. And it's our ability to co-brand with you in things like door hangers, postcards, which you see the example of here, even yard signs. So if you get a new listing and you call your home lending advisor, and sure enough, that new listing is eligible for $2,000, $5,000, or $7,500 in grant money, you can actually ask the HLA to come out and put a yard sign out. That yard sign has driven more traffic because people will actually see 7,500 just for this property, and they'll call in on it. That yard sign can also be co-branded. So if you know, as an example, that you've got a listing coming up, you can reach out to your home lending advisor and say, hey, let's co-brand a yard sign on this property. We'll also do co-branded marketing materials on door hangers, just sold or just listed. And I know some of you are thinking, well, wait a minute, what about the RESPA violation, or what percentage of this do I have to pay? And we split that off so that we do all of the printing and the delivery to you, and then your half of it so that you're not violating RESPA is to actually get it out on the actual doorknobs or in the actual mail. So between all of those things that we've talked about, which are plentiful, as well as co-branded marketing materials, I think we see a ton of reasons for us to partner. And I'd certainly like to reach out and see, for those of you who've joined us in Southern California, I'd love for you to reach out to me and let's talk about how we can build a relationship that's long lasting. Darius?
Hey, so I have a couple examples of what my team has done. So one of my HLAs in Las Vegas, she partnered with a real estate agent, and her branch is in an area where there's a bunch of apartment complexes around. We created like a "Did you know" postcard that said, "Did you know, for the amount that you're paying in rent at your apartment, this is how much house you could afford on average for this." We created the postcard, gave it to the agent paid for the postage, and we sent it out to several the addresses around apartment complexes. And it got a lot of phone calls. It didn't turn into a whole bunch of loans because not everybody's interested, but for the amount that we spent and the agent spent, there was a huge profit. Another one of my loan officers in Albuquerque, he and one of his agents, they were doing an open house, and they decided to host a homebuyer education class in the garage of the open house. So they created postcards that showed the open house, and it was an invitation to homebuyer education class, and they sent it out just to people in that neighborhood. And it was a way to drive traffic into the open house for people in the neighborhood. And the homebuyer class wasn't well attended. I think there was 6 or 7 people there, but it also provided value to people in the neighborhood. Since this is a neighborhood that agent was going to continue to canvas, it was a continuous add of value for the partnership that we had. So there's real ways to use the materials that we have and cost you little, but as you get creative with how you want to grow your business, let us be your partner in that, because we have some creative ways to support you.
Including in-branch marketing as well, or in-branch, what we call in-branch tabletops, where we will bring in a realtor to our branch, and they spend a half day or a couple of hours with us meeting Chase clients. So there are an awful lot of opportunities for you as realtors, and I think we've covered really just a few of them. So with that, I'd like to open it up, or we'd like to open it up for Q&A. Parisha?
Great. All right. Well, thank you guys for that presentation. It's very informative. A lot of great things that Chase is offering us. And we do have a hefty lot of people. We have 43 people on the calls. Now we have our head count. Thank you. Oh, I mean, does anyone actually on the call have any questions for the gentleman? anything that they have about maybe programs with Chase, how to get involved in some of the other Chase programs. I see that you kind of skirted over the branch thing. I know just from being in the business for a while, Bank of America had something similar. But uh, Ethel, you have a question?
Yes, I do. Have you guys thought about what you're going to do concerning the new buyer representation? I was trying to listen to your lead agency component. Have you thought about building something in there? For instance, if we're getting a referral as a from a buyer and they're getting $5,000 or so, have you thought about how you're going to build something into that same program that would actually help pay for the buyer representation fees for the agencies with the new law that's coming out?
So so for instance, the grant that we talked about, it
Mm-hmm.
would show up as a closing cost, and that grant can cover closing costs. The GSC, so Fannie and Freddie put out, I want to say middle of last month. So every state has a cap. Your fees cannot exceed a certain percentage of the loan amount. I think for California it's 6%. Same thing in Nevada. What will happen is if you say, I'm going to charge you, client, 1% to represent you and help you find a home, and if that puts that client over the state cap, what Fannie and Freddie said is they won't make the loan a non-sellable loan. They would still be open to purchasing it on the secondary market. So for those of you that don't know, a high cost loan is a non-sellable loan, meaning I can't take that loan and go ahead and sell it on the secondary market. I have to portfolio it. So one of the things that Cornell talked about is, as a bank, we have the ability that a company that's a pure mortgage company may not have, is we can, if we like the loan, it makes sense to do the loan for the customer, and we feel that the client, based on their the makeup of the loan, is going to pay, we have the ability to keep loans on portfolio. So I think a combination of what the GSE said, our homebuyer grant, and our ability to portfolio is how, for now, we are managing through it. But this is all new to everyone, and like what I say right now may change a month from now as we all try to figure out how we're going to navigate the new norm.
The only other thing that I'll add to that is to your point on Chase Agent Express money that the customer gets for using a realtor. That money is paid after the close of escrow, so it's not usable in the transaction itself. So if the customer is going to get $1,000 or $2,000 or $2,500 or $5,000, they won't receive that until 30 days after close. If that was your question.
Yes, that's clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so is there any other questions that you guys may have for Darius or Cornell? Anything about the programs? We really, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Rhea.
Okay. So we definitely, as Realtist, would like to coordinate and with all of your home loan advisors. So what is the best way for Realtist to contact advisors? I know there's probably a directory online, but has there been any identified for, it's like our partnerships within Northern and Southern California for Chase Home Loan Advisors?
So it's generally going to be geographic, and I'd be surprised if you didn't know I'd be disappointed if you didn't know who
Of course
the
I do,
HLA.
but we have over 500 members and they don't. So of
Yeah,
course,
I completely understand.
yeah.
So if you don't know, Darius, I know would welcome the phone call, and I would also welcome the phone call. I noticed though, Darius put this together in my phone number. Did you guys notice that it's hardly readable? But Darius is very clear. I mean, what's up with that, my brother? At any rate, my number is 949-285-4808. And you can certainly see Darius at 702-250-7887. And we'd be more than happy to get you connected with one of our local CHLAs.
Thank
And by the
you.
way, just real quick, you notice both Darius and I said HLA and CHLA. The HLA is a home lending advisor. That's a traditional commissioned loan officer, and that's a fine person to reach out to as well. The community home lending advisors, which Darius and I work with, are advisors that are completely focused on what we call affordable and uh, typically disserved a client, Black and Hispanic, and we'd be more than happy to get you connected with somebody who's bilingual if that's what you need, or someone who's your customer might be more comfortable with working with someone that looks like they do. That's Darius and my focus.
Okay.
Tiffany, I see. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Tiffany, I see that your smiling face is here, and I don't want to leave you out. I'm sure Darius and I both want to, if you've got something to add, especially where it comes to community and affordable.
Well, I think I'm on. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining. I am the Community and Affordable Business Development Manager. I cover Los Angeles and Orange County, but I also have my peers on here. So I have MJ and Dom and me. So I definitely don't want to, take center stage, but I think today was great, and we have local relationships with the chapters. So if you guys have any needs or have questions, you can definitely reach out to us as well. But I do want to say thank you again.
And MJ, you set this up, my brother.
Well, I can attest with Tiffany, and I'm sure Dominique will say the same thing. And we have our fearless leader, Cindy Roberts, on the call too. But yeah, we work with all the chapters, and Rhea and I, we pretty much go back and forth every week. I would say maybe 3 or 4 times a week. But more importantly, we're here to support your needs as well. We work hand in hand with Darius and Cornell, and bring opportunities to them from a strategic standpoint, from a realtist strategic standpoint, and we work with the execution of that. But more importantly, we're here to support the community lending managers, Darius and Cornell, but also to, stay step forward on the task at hand, is to put more Black homeowners into homes, or Black borrowers into homes. So we're here to help support, and you guys have done a great job. Thank you for the opportunity as well, Rhea, and all the realtors for attending today as well. So I'll turn it over to Dom at this point, Dominique.
Thanks, MJ. Yeah, I would just echo what my teammates have said. And Cornell, Darius, I think you did a fantastic job explaining all of the products and programs and benefits that Chase has to offer. Just keep in mind too that you're welcome to reach out to our team. So any of the business development managers on the phone today can align you with the appropriate or with the best HLAs or CHLAs in your market. So use us as a tool and resource, and we'd be happy to support you however we can. Thanks, everybody.
I have another quick question. I know we have a community center in Oakland. Are there other community centers like the one we have in Oakland, in Northern and Southern California, that we could collaborate, have events at, that sort of thing?
There absolutely is. And Tiffany, you want to boast about the one that we have in Crenshaw?
Yeah, we have one in Crenshaw, and we've actually done things with Consolidated. It's a great space. I haven't been to the one in Oakland, but we definitely have leveraged that to host events.
In fact, we've leveraged a few of them, including one where every week we had a buyer's open, a broker's open, where brokers in the Los Angeles community actually came in and pitched their listings. And we did that on a weekly basis, and then bi-weekly for probably the better part of a year and a half. So it's just another example of how Chase really steps out to do a little bit more to help you close more transactions. That was an excellent question, and I appreciate it, Rhea.
So Rhea, there's community centers throughout the state of California, and they are supported by what's called a community manager, and their job is so the business development managers on the call, they work with realtors and real estate agents, but the community managers work with nonprofits and other organizations, and we can utilize this space for some of the things that you've done in Oakland and things that Cornell talked about. But there's multiple community centers throughout the state. So what I would say is for members, if you want to know where the community centers are and how you can partner with us in use of the space or what we may be having going on in those spaces, reach out to myself or Cornell or any of the business development managers that are on the call, and we can guide you in that direction.
Parisha, you're a testament to one of the uses of those spaces for beach cities.
Yes, the Irvine Newport Beach location and
Mhm.
Long Beach and the one in Long Beach. So I've been at events at both of them. But can you guys also put that information in the chat so that our members can be able to get to you just really easy, so they don't have to look it up if you don't mind, Cornell, for you, Darius, and the other Chase constituents that we need to reach out to get connected with you guys.
You bet.
All right, great. And while he's doing that, is there any other questions that you may have for Chase? We're hoping that we can bring them back again before the year is up, or at least we'll see them at our annual conference. But in the meantime, we really want you to really reach out to them and try to send them as much business as you can, because they do support us as a organization. So before we close out, if there's no more questions, Madam President, would you have any additional announcements? Or before I go into that, is there anything else, any closing remarks you guys wanted to say in terms of you guys, Darius or Cornell?
So one thing I forgot to mention when I talked about the homebuyer grant. So not only do we have the 2,500 or 5,000/7,500, but also all veterans, if they are buying a home, we do a $2,000 grant on top of this. So you think about a customer maybe getting some other down payment assistance from a nonprofit. They're buying in a neighborhood that is eligible for the grant. They can get $5,000, $7,500 there. If they're a veteran as well, they can get another $2,000. So again, a lot of what we're doing is to ensure that we can help get people into homes, with the biggest gap to home ownership being cash to close.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Darius. And what about you, Cornell? Do you have any final remarks, any closing statements, anything you want to leave us with, so to make sure, we want to get off this call and call you right now?
Unlike Darius, whose name and number was more easily readable than mine, but now Darius did an outstanding job. He always does. It's such a pleasure when we do a joint presentation together, because we've got such great insight. For some reason, I got feedback, but if you've got opportunities where you are trying to get a listing or trying to get a sale closed, I ask that you take a look at that customer. Ask them point blank, do you have a relationship with Chase, or who do you have a relationship with on the banking side? There's a good chance they already know us, and if they know us, they like us. I would encourage you, if you've got a customer that's got a relationship with Chase, build on that relationship, because it'll just make your whole transaction go so much smoother. Chase has a relationship with 81 million customers. There's a good chance it includes yours. And I would encourage you to use us when that happens.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you, Cornell. And like I said, we really very much appreciate this presentation. So before we close out, I want to give it back to Madam President, see if there's any additional, or want to go over any other announcements or anything, now that we do have even more people on the line than we did in the beginning. And close us out.
Definitely. Thank you, Chase, for showing up and showing out with all your representation today on the call. One thing that I want to point out is very important for Realtist is that we are not only working to help homeowners, but as business owners, we're working to support one another and build our business. And so I just want to just point out the importance of the Chase Wealth Series that was just completed in Solano. Not only did they talk about homeownership, but they talked about entrepreneurship and running a business. And we are all running businesses, and we need to know how to properly run our business. And they also talked about saving and budgeting. And it's very important, in addition, before we even get to the loan, before they even ask where's your loan, or how many loans have you submitted from your organization of buyers, they realize that our buyers are challenged with credit issues. And so the saving and budgeting piece is Chase's commitment to knowing that our representation, our community needs to be educated on saving and budgeting. So before we even get to home ownership, we have so much work to do in the area of saving and budgeting. And we really need lenders like Chase to understand that and to work with our organization to help prepare, not just to buy, but help prepare our community to buy. And so I really, really appreciate that you guys recognize that and that how important it is for our community. And I just want to make sure that all our members know that you guys are working on that as well. So that they know the importance of supporting your institution. One other thing is at the beginning of the session, I mentioned that we have our June summit coming up. It's free to members. There's a fee for non-members. The June summit is a real estate gig economy summit. So we're talking about all of the side hustles that real estate agents may or may not have and want to know about in our industry. So be sure to check out the June Summit and come learn how, in addition to your business, there may be some other things that you want to do that are in line with your business to add to your income. We have the NAREB.com. You can check out the national conference that's coming up in New Orleans, Louisiana. And then we are working towards our California State Conference. And if you missed it earlier, one thing that I said is our state conference is more than education. We are going to be collaborating with each other across the state, talking about how we're going to network. We might have some prospecting activities for you. There might be some prizes, might be some ways that you can help develop your lead generation during that conference. So stay tuned for our California State Conference because it will be interactive and very educational at the same time. So thank you, Parisha, for again leading a successful Power Hour.
Thank you, Madam President. And if you guys have a great rest of the day, an amazing weekend. It's the holiday weekend. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Thank you to all our veterans on the line. And we'll see you at the next Power Hour. It's going to be the benefits of being a HUD counselor with Laratia's out of Consolidated. You don't want to miss that. See you guys.